Welcome to dojo.live, the place where top minds in travel and hospitality check in to share insights and breakthroughs shaping the industry. Brought to you by Encora, your trusted partner for AI, cloud, and data-driven innovation. Enjoy your stay. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Encora's Dojo Live, where we have candid conversations with industry leaders who are tackling the biggest challenges in travel and hospitality. I'm your host, Kim Lantis, and today is May 13th, 2025. We're back with episode number 8 in our Redefining the Digital Storefront series, Insights from Hospitality's Direct Booking Leaders. Here to help me co-host today is Jose Matuk. Jose,
Hi, Kim.
hello.
Hi, how are you, Kim? I'm very excited
I'm
to be here.
I, I'm excited to have you. This is your first episode as my co-host, and I'm so excited because it's a really fitting conversation for you and your interests. Today, we're going to be answering the question of how can harnessing data, the new oil, fuel better bookings, pricing, and operational excellence in hospitality. Joining us to explore the role of unified data empowering smarter hotel operations is Binu Mathews, who is the CEO of IDS Next. Binu, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Kim, and thanks for the invite. Great to meet with you, Jose. Thank you. I'm excited to be
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. And thank you, especially because of the time zone difference. I know we're just starting our day off here on Dojo Live, and you're ready to wrap yours up. Uh, to kick things off, Binu, if you could please just share a bit about your journey in hospitality and what keeps you excited about the industry today. Thank you.
Sure, I'm going to make it as quick as possible. I had been in the enterprise software space for 30 plus years now and became part of the hospitality tech ecosystem through an acquisition. SoftBrands acquired the company I was working for and got the opportunity to manage both the manufacturing and the hospitality side of business. I chose hospitality as working with people in beautiful locations was much better than working with machines on the shop floor. So for the last 20 plus years now, it's only enterprise software for hospitality. Um, at SoftBrands, which was then later acquired by Infor, we set up the global capability center in development support, and I managed the business for the Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, and South Asia regions. And I had the opportunity to be in the executive team to even look at a couple of other hospitality tech solution providers for acquisitions. I joined IDS Next 15 years back and currently manage the company. And I actively participate in the design of future solutions which we create. And hospitality is all about people and creating solutions for people to enhance the experience for people. This really excites me.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. So, you got to the basics of hospitality and it's all about people, but I want to talk about another basics, and that is why data is being called the new oil in general, but especially in hospitality. How does that translate into real value for the modern hotel?
Yeah. See, data is like oil. Crude and unrefined data is of no use. Unorganized and unanalyzed data is of no value. Like oil, data needs to be cleaned up, organized to become valuable. Just like the oil fueled the industrial revolution several years back, data is now fueling the digital economy. Everything about the digital storefront is all the digital economy. So the true value of data is it's in the insights that we derive from. And data, the new oil, also highlights the importance of the digital economy or the new digital storefront. We already know that hospitality systems like CRMs, BI, and revenue management systems use a lot of data already. But these systems are in silence. They do not give the advantage we want to utilize the newer tools which are available for us now. data in multiple silos does not help us to get a unified layer.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So Binu, if you don't mind me asking, so from your perspective,
Sure.
what what exactly can you explain a little bit more for the audience? What exactly is in your view a unified data layer, and why do you think it's such a game changer for hospitality in particular?
Yeah. So traditionally, hospitality or hotels have always believed in best of breed systems, which means that a typical hotel have 20 plus tech stack. A tech stack will have 20 plus solutions from 25 vendors, all competing with each other. Booking engines, reservation system, PMSs, point of sales, material systems, finance, loyalty. All of these work in their own silos, interfaced with each other because you need to have minimal information going in and up and down. Interfaces are designed to communicate partial information, sometimes just one-sided information. So I'll give you an example about partial information. When we do a booking from an OTA, the OTA might not always pass on the details of the guest, like its phone number or the email number to the PMS. So there is a reservation and the reservation numbers. So for the hotel, that guest is just a number. You cannot understand anything more of the guest. You cannot reach out to the guest before arrival or even participate in enhancing the guest experience. Now that's partial information which is going. And if the guest, let us say, decides to extend the stay in the hotel, the PMS does not send the data back to the OTA. So it's one-sided. So, it happens on both sides. At IDS, we believe that enterprise platforms captures the entire guest journey from booking, stay, housekeeping, services, F&B, wellness, guest engagement, everything in one single platform. Now the hotels, businesses, as well as tech vendors understand the importance of how these unified and complete data layers are useful. So they have started now talking about all-in-one systems, designing all-in-one systems. You would have seen some of the new Gen solutions coming up with all-in-one solutions. Just imagine that we have one repository of data that includes the stay details, booking details, feedbacks, preferences, likes, dislikes, spend details across F&B, wellness, everything. And that is again spread across a chain, and that's a game changer.
Yeah, because I also assume there's some risks involved in not having this unified layer, right? Like, for example, not knowing well your guests and all that. But can you, just going a little deeper into that, if you see any more risks, or also how does a unified data layer help you? Now everything is AI. We have to leverage these new technologies and all that, right? So how do you think of that particular couple of things? Thank you.
So the way I look at data not talking to each other in simple terms is departments in a hotel not talking to each other. It's as simple as that. The biggest risk of operating in silos is that the department in front desk does not know what is happening in the spa or what is happening in F&B. Just imagine a situation that there is a guest who had a wonderful experience in the wellness center or at the restaurant and had to do rave reviews, but that information is just not gone back into the front desk. So when he checks out, he's just like any other normal complaining guest. So the front desk does not even try to put in an effort to acknowledge that rave review so that you can get back the guest. This is the risk. We are missing out in the whole workflow. We are missing out in the whole guest experience, which really creates, barriers. And it also creates barriers not just between departments to adopt new tools like AI. as inconsistent or incomplete data makes it difficult to train the AI. AI can only learn from what is provided, right? And in the worst case scenario, that actually results in broken or poor guest experience, and then missed revenue, lower guest retention, and so on.
Absolutely. I like how you brought it full circle and why that unification is necessary because there's that missed opportunity, right? The guest leaves and now you can start inviting them back and inviting them with, things that are specifically interesting or enjoyable to them, like the spa. So I'm curious about the actual outcomes now, if we can shift that direction and how data, AI are actually helping hotels then to improve things like pricing, upselling, and then of course ultimately coming back around to the direct booking conversion like you were talking about of another lost opportunity. If your bookings are coming from the OTA side, then you're also missing out on a lot of,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
elements. So how are data and AI specifically helping those
yeah.
components?
In multiple areas, actually. When you look at pricing, dynamic pricing algorithms use historical data with real-time demands, occupancy data from the system, competitor rates, external factors that adjust room rates in real time. What happens with dynamic pricing is the hotels will be able to, without losing to competition, able to manage the additional revenue. So that's a big outcome, on just the pricing alone. Because, there is an event which is happening, which could be uh, a, a match, or in India, you have cricket matches almost 8 months over the year. So those are great events to make sure that you will be able to get those data in and the occupancy data, which you can predict and improve your ARR. That is one of the areas which you can. And then upsell. If you have clean data of a guest with the preferences, likes, dislikes, and everything else, you can suggest upgrades or a spa deal if you're connected in the whole system, or an F&B deal, or even a late checkout, because you know about the guest and you know that when he or she is flying out, and you can offer that in real time at the right time when he or she is going to say yes. You know, think of the possibility of what can be done like a Netflix recommendation. We are talking about Yellowstone anyway. So, on very, very similar lines, the recommendation. This is what enables highly targeted offers, increasing the likelihood of conversions which can happen.
If I may, one of the things I'm curious about is so I know your platform is I mean it does a lot of things, and we're gonna talk about platforms a little bit later. But
Sure.
in terms of AI and innovations and all these outcomes that you're talking about, what is exciting for you right now in particular? Do you have any innovations in mind, or I know you probably can't talk about new stuff on your platform, but maybe just give us an idea of where this is going, right?
Yeah. So let me talk about three areas where AI can be useful for the hospitality industry. One is definitely in the guest experience side of things. And in the guest experience side of things, we are already witnessing a lot of things which is happening in AI. From the simple uh, NLP-based chatbot which assists a booking to a booking engine which already captures the cookies, captures the data on how much on which page or a tab which you have been staying over, to enhance the experience and to make sure that the booking is converted direct. So, in just the booking and alone, there is so much of AI which is already started to be prevalent. Now, when you come into the guest experience part, one is a digital concierge. Yeah, people now are ready to pay for the experience, not just for beds, right? They want the experience. That is why they are looking for traveling, especially after COVID, to locations because they want to have the whole experience. And most of our hotels, from a skills perspective, cannot afford a concierge. And most of the websites probably have your Christmas dinner discounts running even now. They are not a big. I mean, it's fact of life because you don't have the. Uh,
Yeah.
you just don't have the stuff to do it. So this is where you will be able to use the AI tools, bring in the local data, local experiences, and very quickly update your websites and the booking function to make sure that that conversion is done. And then from there on, the itinerary is created by the concierge to make sure that the stay is an experience and not just to stay for a couple of a couple of days. That is from a guest experience. Now imagine a situation that you are able to, during the stay, you are able to capture the preferences and data. Day one, you change your pillow from, to a feather pillow. You don't want the housekeeping going back and keeping all those sponge pillows every day because you already selected feather pillow. And that is something, it's a very simple thing, but that is something which you feel good about it because somebody is taking care of you. Or even I drink coffee, but every time I see that I have a stack of 6 types of tea and 1 or 2 sachets of coffee in the room, if I am drinking coffee in there, please give me more coffee, not more tea. So this is a simple stay experience which AI can do because you're capturing in the housekeeping system. You're writing down the software. I mean, the stock. That information is tagged to the guest, the tag to the room, which is a very simple thing which can be done. And most of us prefer one side of the bed to lie down. And you can see the turn down service normally does it on the other side, and the chocolates are farther than you. So I always have, I don't know why, but aren't these small experiences that can, make you feel good? This is all simple data, which is already once it is captured, and that is what AI can bring in all across through the state. And then any of the allergies or any of those which you have, if you have already told that I am allergic to lemongrass, I don't want when I book a wellness session, I don't want that place to be full of lemongrass, fumes because I'm already allergic to lemongrass. So there's a ton of things which can help with one single data layer on and using AI in the guest preference side. Again, I'm not even come to the rest of the areas. When you look at guest preference, the other thing is that feedback. Today, what happens with feedback is people provide the feedback and then they, most of the time, publish it to the TripAdvisor or any other place when they check out. There is no way to get the feedback at multiple touch points. And nobody is going to fill it in pen and paper for you. So when you use integrated system, you can capture those feedback and do the corrections right there, which will help you, in eventually making sure that you are having, the stay experience much better. So this is all from a guest perspective. Now just imagine what analytics can do, decision making, exciting possibilities in decision making, whether it is from a predictability or from costing and all of those things, food costing. There's a lot of things which I've come across which is happening in food costing. There are IoT based devices which are capturing food wastage on buffet dinners, buffet breakfast, which can in turn and train back into making sure that you select the right thing for your buffet and make sure that you reduce your food wastage and eventually bring in what you call as savings or more money to the P&L. Same with electricity, same with water shortage, same with all of these systems are beautifully available there. If the PMS knows when a person is going to check in and check out, and the PMS knows that the room is used only for 4 hours, he's a business traveler. Why would the lights in the aircon be on for the rest of the time? There's a lot of things which can be, done from energy saving. And the most important thing, I think the hospitality is going through a very tough time in terms of having skilled manpower. Across the world, it is not just from after COVID, we've lost a lot of people to hospitality to other services organizations. And hence, it has become very difficult for having trained or experienced staff, to do the SOP for hospitality, to use the solutions. The last thing you want to do is somebody taking 5 minutes for check-in, not in Vegas. We're talking about a simple business hotel with 200-room property. You cannot take 5 minutes for check-in. So the biggest thing is teaching staff. And what we have done in IDS, which I want to share. I'm okay to share that because we have tied up with Salesforce and we are using agentic AI right inside our solution to train so there is training all through for the employees, support, and 24/7 training whenever they want it. It's being done simple English chats which they can do, and they can get the answers for what they want to do. So there are quite a few exciting stuff happening.
Yeah.
That's,
I
that's
love
amazing.
that. I love the examples of how, the conversation around unified data. I am interpreting this not only by unifying the data, you're actually unifying the front of house, the back of house, increasing the guest experience, increasing the operational experience. And I think ultimately that's going to come back to loyalty on both the guest side and the employee side. So I think what we'll do now is transition to the platform side. Jose, I know that this is quite interesting for you. Any questions for Binu?
Yeah, because I mean, with all that you just said, I think it becomes clear that now we're talking about a platform play, right? So how it becomes central in a hotel chain operations and so on. So could you speak a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So, as I had mentioned earlier, the hospitality tech stack is being fragmented because of the way we did what you call as best of breed systems, uh, very disconnected systems. And AHLA and HTNG has done a lot of initiatives to make sure that industry and vendors are talking to each other and focused on interoperability and standards for API-driven communication. So there is a lot of improvement from
Yeah,
systems not talking to each other to started dating, started talking to each other,
the good old days,
But
right?
yeah, the good old days. So it has actually moved off from there, which
Yeah,
is fabulous. But even now, a lot of data is not just going in. Uh, all of us are familiar now about attribute-based pricing. If I take an example, a room can enhance its revenue by having attributes like I want the pool view, which is $20 more, or I want a room which is farthest from the elevator, which is $30 more, or whatever it is,
noise, yeah.
whichever way. Yeah, simple attribute-based pricing. There are CRO solutions which talk about retailing and adding up anything else from simple attributes to cabanas to day life, or any of those things can be done. But this information is coming into PMS as a text. What do you do with that? I mean, it is of no meaningful use to analyze and everything, until the system has similar structure to take the data, even with the APIs or even with interoperability, it is going to be a challenge. And that is why we have always looked at, we have always been enterprise hospitality solutions from the last 20, 25 years. And all our systems are in one single database, which means that the booking system, the CRS system, the PMS, the point of sale system, the spa solution, the wellness solution, the banqueting event solution, the material solutions, the finance solutions. All of them can be sold separately, but also as one single platform, which is what 80%, 90% of our clients prefer to have the single platform. And with the single platform, a lot of things happen. One, there are no interfaces. Interfaces are the weakest link. So there is no break in data. It's a chain is as strong as the link, right? So if there are no interfaces, and if the data is writing into the database layer directly, then the chance of losing the data is almost nil. So that is one thing which we achieve. So the data is there. We also tap the same data from the same data. So the same guest, which is using the PMS, has the same guest profile in the POS, which is a point of sale system. And it is the same guest profile in the wellness in the spa solution. And so it is single source of truth across all the revenue touch points. Which is very, very useful when we really look at creating platform for the future. Once you have these things organized very well, you can run any tools which you want, AI powered tools or any tools for that matter. We can run that very well, and real time, faster information, instead of bringing all of these, creating another layer on top of it, and then trying to plow the data out of it. So using these open platforms, actually hotels can ensure and communicate effectively within the departments with each other, or even with the multiple branches across or the multiple locations. That reduces the friction between the departments and between the properties. And then it works like a small factory with everything is coordinated, if I may say so. Yeah. That's a vision.
Yeah, no, great. And Binu, I think this is a good follow-up question that I just came up. With great power comes great responsibility, right? We all know that. So does this platform, so what I'm hearing is it does all for a hotel and restaurants and all that. Does it also simplify the responsibility part of security, data privacy? How do you control what AI does and not with the data? And all those things I know are top of mind for hoteliers. So can you speak a little bit?
No, you are absolutely right with everything what is happening with data breach recently. It is always been a very, very sensitive data for us. So the way we design our platforms, GDPR is already in the platform wherever it is. So the entire data layer of GDPR is already written on, whether you opt in or opt out from a privacy perspective. In India, we have something called data privacy and data policy. Almost all the countries are going in something similar to GDPR. Now, all our systems are completely PADSS compliant, which means that we do not keep any payment information, credit card information. Anything which is kept is tokenized, encrypted, and all of those. So we are all SOC 2 compliant. So intrusion tests, encryptions, and everything is done completely to make sure that we take the best of the chances to do it. Our platform is also done in Azure, which we just don't host it ourselves. That is why I'm talking about Azure, where we make sure that we leverage the Azure firewalls, safety, and multiple other tools which is there, which is also similar to AWS, which so we leverage that, the experience of those solutions from an added security layer to ensure that everything is secure. And you know how cloud systems are vulnerable. So we need to make sure that Active Directories are enabled, multi-factor authentication is there in logins, sometimes with email or with mobile. We also have controls in IP-based login. So we can whitelist the IPs, and only those IPs will be able to log into our systems, So so we also have IP-based login. So we have tried and kept the best of ability in terms of security, because which is very important.
Amazing. So the unified data, the platform play, we've got it amplifying the guest experience and simplifying the operational experience and simplifying the security, at least the way we experience it, right? And of course, in your hands, the security is all taken care of and probably quite the opposite of simplified. But I want to talk here toward the future here as we're coming to the end of today's conversation, if you can believe it. Time flies when you are having fun. So, looking ahead, how do you see data, AI, platform play, all of this unification shaping the future for hospitality, technology? How should hotels, maybe what should they start doing rather today to stay competitive in that future that you see
Yeah.
coming?
My advice is just start somewhere. You cannot, and it is going to be difficult for hotels to do everything together. There's a vast amount of data, especially the hotels which are running legacy systems and which are not connected with each other. But it is very important to start somewhere. They can even do what you call as, how do they do the SOPs to their employees? How do they use generative, chat GPT to look at what's happening around them? Very, very simple tools. But with the growing adoption of AI, IoT, machine learning tools, and everything which is coming in, and it is becoming more affordable. I'm talking about AI is not something which is easily affordable for a lot of folks. It's expensive even now. And as it becomes more affordable, it is important for hotels to start at least from decision making, employee engagement to start with, so that they will be confident and look at the guest experience and everything which is related to the guest. So I feel that data and technology will come together and create seamless personal experiences, guest experiences, all the way from discovery, not even booking, before booking, from discovery all through bringing back the guest, not even checkout, from discovery to how to bring back the guest. And that is what will be exciting for hotels to think and do that. And that is what I think which I can look at for the future.
All right, thank you. And to wrap us up today, how does IDS Next exactly fit into this evolving ecosystem? How are you supporting hotels and building your secure, unified, data-powered
Yeah,
platform for their growth? What's that process look like? And if somebody wants to kind of talk about that with you,
sure.
how can
Yeah,
they do that?
we offer cloud native hospitality ERP. And not just from the accommodation side. We do the ERP for accommodations, for restaurants, for wellness, leisure, as well as for MICE, which is events and banquets. So everything in hospitality and only hospitality. That is what we do. And all our solutions are complete enterprise platforms, which means like I explained, our guest profile is one single source of truth across. You can capture the lifetime value of the guest. You capture allergies, preferences, and everything, and the same data goes across for brands and chains. Our platform, we work with regional chains, we work with international chains and groups. It's not that we don't work with boutique hotels or standalone systems. Our systems also work with that, but our concept or architecture of ERP or platform play leverages to make sure that we have least services, least interfaces to be done, and the ability to leverage data in whichever form we want, whether it is simple BI or AI, or just in using any guest experience solutions of ours or any other on top of our platform. So our goal is very simple: help hospitality businesses in any of those verticals to deliver unforgettable guest experience and improve their operational efficiencies.
Amazing,
For Hawaii,
amazing.
Hawaii say it is let them focus on what they do best, which is
Yep,
focus on people and treating them awesome, and let you take care of the technology. Correct?
absolutely. Yep, we will take care
That's
of that. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely. A big thank you to you, Binu Mathews, for walking us through how unified data and AI are transforming hotel performance, everything from better pricing and upselling to improving conversions and the loyalty and guest experience. Now, before we go, if our audience wants to reach out to you directly or your IDS Next team, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn, Binu Mathews. You can find me on LinkedIn. The best way to catch me is on LinkedIn. Message me and I can reach out, or just go to our website idsnext.com
All
and you can
right.
reach out to any of us. Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you once again, Binu. Thank you to
Thank
you,
you.
Jose, for your great questions. We'd like to thank Encora, our sponsor, for making these conversations possible. Encora does partner with travel and hospitality or companies to accelerate their innovation through world-class engineering solutions. And of course, if you like these conversations, and we hope you do, follow us, dojo.live, across LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, and more, Spotify also. And you can also check out all of our past conversations at our website, dojo.live. And be sure to join us tomorrow as we continue our digital storefront series. That's going to be Wednesday, May 14th. We're going to be looking at how to go from booking to buying and building the next commerce driven booking engine. That's with Saver's Ethan Wiseman. He'll be sharing how hotels can optimize their booking engine for maximum profit. Until then, stay curious, stay innovative, and bye for now.